The Galactic Council chambers had never hosted such an unusual gathering. Representatives from 12 species filled the ornate amphitheater, their varied forms creating a tapestry of scales, feathers, and chitinous plates under the crystalline dome. At the center of it all sat the legendary Throne of Unity, a massive seat carved from a single piece of star-born obsidian that had remained empty for 3,000 years. Adam Chen shifted uncomfortably in his diplomatic uniform, acutely aware of the stares directed at him and his colleague, Kinza Malik. As Earth's first official ambassadors to the Galactic Council, they were curiosities at best, jokes at worst. Humans had only achieved faster-than-light travel 50 years ago, making them infants by galactic standards. "Look at the primitives," hissed Zixtar, the serpentine representative, his forked tongue tasting the air with disdain. "They still use chemical propulsion for atmospheric flight." Kinza's jaw tightened, but she maintained her diplomatic composure. She had trained for years to represent humanity's best qualities: intelligence, adaptability, and dignity. Adam, however, was less practiced at hiding his emotions. His fists clenched as laughter rippled through the assembly. The towering Korthak ambassador, General Vexmoon, rose to his full 12-foot height. "Perhaps," he rumbled, his voice like grinding stone, "we should demonstrate just how unprepared these humans are for galactic society." "What did you have in mind?" asked the crystalline Zalari delegate, her voice chiming like wind bells. Vexmoon's 4 eyes gleamed with malicious amusement. "The Throne of Unity. Legend says it will only accept one worthy to rule all species. For 3 millennia, no being has been deemed worthy, not even Emperor Kolthara himself before his exile." The chamber fell silent. Even the youngest species knew the legend. The throne had been created by an ancient civilization as a test of worthiness, embedded with technology beyond current understanding. It measured not just power or intelligence, but something deeper, something the ancients called the heart of true leadership. "You suggest the human should sit upon the throne?" The aquatic Merhai representative's gills fluttered with what might have been laughter. "For amusement?" "Indeed," Vexmoon said. "Let us see how the throne responds to such limited potential." Adam felt every eye in the chamber turn to him. The weight of their expectation, their certainty of his failure, pressed down like a physical force. He looked to Kinza, who gave him an almost imperceptible nod. They both understood this was a test of humanity itself. "I accept," Adam said, his voice carrying farther than he expected in the suddenly quiet chamber. He walked down the steps toward the throne, each footfall echoing in the vast space. The obsidian seat seemed to pulse with inner light as he approached, its surface covered in symbols from a dozen dead civilizations. The air around it shimmered with energy. Behind him he heard whispered bets being placed. The odds were not in his favor. Adam paused before the throne, studying its alien architecture. It was beautiful and terrifying, a seat built for beings far greater than himself. For a moment doubt crept in. What was he, a former mining engineer from Colorado, doing here among species that had mastered the stars while humans were still learning to make fire? Then he remembered why he was here. Not because humans were the strongest or the smartest, but because they had something else, the ability to unite despite differences, to find common ground even with former enemies. Earth's history was violent, yes, but it was also filled with moments of unexpected cooperation, of sworn enemies becoming allies, of ordinary people doing extraordinary things when others needed them most. He sat down. The throne erupted in light. Energy coursed through Adam's body, not painful but overwhelming. Images flashed through his mind, not his memories, but the memories of the throne itself. He saw the rise and fall of the ancient builders, their desperate hope that someday, someone would be worthy to unite the galaxy in peace rather than conquest. Around him, the chamber had gone completely silent. The obsidian beneath him had transformed, becoming warm and somehow alive. Symbols blazed along its surface, and holographic displays materialized in the air, showing star charts, trade routes, and diplomatic frameworks that could revolutionize galactic society. But most importantly, Adam felt something else. The throne was reading him, measuring not his strength or his knowledge, but his intentions. It found his genuine desire to help, his willingness to listen rather than command, his deep-seated belief that different species could work together despite their differences. The light faded, but the throne continued to glow with a soft, welcoming radiance. In the stunned silence, Kinza was the first to speak. The throne has accepted him. Zixtar's scales had gone pale. Impossible. He's just a human. Just a human, Adam repeated, still feeling the throne's energy flowing through him. He stood and the glow intensified. Maybe that's exactly what was needed. Vexmoon took a step back, his earlier arrogance replaced by something approaching awe. The legend spoke of one who would come from the youngest race, who would unite through understanding rather than force. Adam looked around the chamber, meeting each delegate's eyes in turn. I don't want to rule you. None of us should rule over others. But maybe we can figure out how to work together, all of us. The throne pulsed once more, and suddenly every translator in the chamber activated simultaneously, creating a perfect network of understanding. For the first time in galactic history, every species could communicate without barriers. Kinza smiled, tears in her eyes. She had always believed in humanity's potential, but seeing it recognized by technology older than their civilization was something else entirely. As the delegates began to murmur among themselves, some in wonder, others in fear, Adam remained standing beside the throne. He understood now that this wasn't about human superiority. It was about human perspective. Sometimes being the youngest, the newest, the most naive, meant seeing possibilities that older, more cynical civilizations had forgotten. The galaxy had been waiting for someone who still believed in unity. They just hadn't expected that someone to be human.